The Sengoku period of Japan, a time of relentless conflict, witnessed the rise of legendary warriors. Among them, one stands out for his skill and loyalty. A master samurai and ninja, he served Tokugawa Ieyasu. His strategic genius shaped Japan's destiny. This is the story of the man who walked between two worlds. Hattori Hanzo was more than just a warrior. He was a whisper in the wind, a ghost in the night. His exploits on the battlefield were as legendary as his stealth and cunning in the shadows. Born into a time of chaos and bloodshed, Hanzo's skills were forged in the fires of constant conflict. He became a master of espionage, a silent predator capable of infiltrating enemy lines with ease. But Hanzo was not merely a tool of war, he was a shrewd tactician, a master of strategy. His understanding of the political landscape of the Sengoku period allowed him to anticipate his enemies' moves and outmaneuver them at every turn. He was a master of information, gathering intelligence and using it to his advantage. His loyalty to Tokugawa Ieyasu was unwavering. He served his lord with a dedication that bordered on the fanatical, risking his life time and again to ensure Ieyasu's safety and success. It was this unwavering loyalty, combined with his exceptional skills, that made Hanzo one of Ieyasu's most trusted advisors and deadliest warriors. Throughout the tumultuous years of the Sengoku period, Hattori Hanzo's name became synonymous with fear and respect. His enemies trembled at the mere mention of his name, knowing that he was a force to be reckoned with. His allies, on the other hand, drew comfort from his presence, knowing that they had a guardian angel watching over them. The Sengoku period was a brutal and unforgiving time. Alliances shifted like sand in the wind, and betrayal was as common as the rising sun. In this crucible of violence, Hattori Hanzo learned to survive by relying on his wits, his skill, and his unwavering loyalty to Tokugawa Ieyasu. He witnessed firsthand the brutality of war, the fragility of life, and the ever-present threat of treachery. Hanzo's early life remains shrouded in mystery, but legends speak of a young boy trained in the deadly arts of espionage and combat from a tender age. He honed his skills in the shadows, learning to become a phantom, a whisper in the night. His training encompassed not just physical prowess, but also mental discipline, strategic thinking, and an understanding of the subtle arts of deception. His loyalty to Tokugawa Ieyasu was not simply a matter of duty, it was a bond forged in mutual respect and shared ambition. Ieyasu recognized Hanzo's extraordinary talents and entrusted him with increasingly dangerous and important missions. In turn, Hanzo saw in Ieyasu a leader worthy of his unwavering dedication, a man with the vision and the strength to unify a fractured nation. Through countless battles and covert operations, Hattori Hanzo proved his worth time and again. He became Ieyasu's eyes and ears, infiltrating enemy strongholds, gathering vital information, and eliminating threats before they could materialize. His exploits became the stuff of legends, whispered among terrified enemies and awestruck allies alike. To truly understand the life of Hattori Hanzo, one must first delve into the chaotic world he was born into. The Sengoku period of Japan. Sengoku, meaning warring states, is a fitting description for this era spanning roughly from the mid-15th to the early 17th century. It was a time when the once unified nation fractured, plunging into a maelstrom of civil war and political intrigue. For centuries, the emperor, a figure considered divine, held nominal control over Japan. However, real power had long since shifted to the Shogun, a military dictator who ruled through a complex network of feudal lords. By the late 1400s, this system began to crumble. The Ashikaga shogunate, weakened by internal strife and corruption, lost its grip on the reins of power. The result was a power vacuum that plunged Japan into chaos. Ambitious warlords known as Daimyo rose to fill the void. Each daimyo commanded their own private armies of samurai, fiercely loyal warriors bound by a strict code of honor. These samurai, skilled in swordsmanship, horseback riding, and the art of war, became the primary instruments of power during this tumultuous period. The Sengoku period was not merely a time of constant warfare. It was also an era of great social and cultural change. The old order, based on a rigid hierarchy and centuries-old traditions, was challenged as new ideas and technologies began to emerge. The introduction of firearms, for example, revolutionized warfare, rendering traditional battle tactics obsolete. Imagine a land where every province, every castle became a battleground. This was the reality of Sengoku period Japan. The country found itself carved up into dozens of independent domains, each ruled by a daimyo vying for supremacy. Alliances shifted like the tides, often crumbling under the weight of betrayal and self-interest. In the west, the powerful Mori clan dominated the seas, their warships controlling vital trade routes. To the east, the formidable Takeda clan, known for their cavalry charges and their fearsome leader, Takeda Shingen, carved a path of conquest through neighboring provinces. The north saw the rise of the Date clan, led by the ambitious and cunning Date Masamune, who wore an iconic crescent moon helmet. The Hojo clan, masters of siege warfare, fortified their position in the Kanto region, while the Uesugi clan, led by the virtuous Uesugi Kenshin, held their ground in the north. These were just a few of the major players in the deadly game of power that played out across the Japanese archipelago. Amidst this chaos, the lives of ordinary people were turned upside down. Villages were raided, crops were burned, and families were torn apart by the constant warfare. Yet even in these dark times, the human spirit endured. Farmers adapted to the new realities, merchants sought opportunities in the chaos, and artisans continued to hone their crafts. The Sengoku period, for all its bloodshed and turmoil, was also a time of great cultural ferment. The constant struggle for survival fostered a spirit of innovation and adaptation. New ideas in art, literature, and philosophy flourished, reflecting the changing times and the uncertainty of the era. The daimyo, once regional lords, emerged as the true power brokers of the Sengoku period. These warlords commanded samurai, controlled land, and held their followers' fate. Their rise was due to cunning, military prowess, and political navigation. Daimyo backgrounds varied from ancient lineage to humble origins. Some, like the Imagawa, clung to traditions. Others, like the Oda, rose through military skill. They shared a common goal: to expand power and influence. They forged alliances, betrayed allies, and waged campaigns. Investing in armies, they equipped samurai with the latest weapons. They built fortified castles and developed battle tactics. Beyond military might, they recognized economic and cultural power. They encouraged trade and patronized the arts. Fostering prosperity, they attracted artisans and retainers. The Sengoku period saw iconic figures in Japanese history. Men like Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu left a mark. They unified Japan, ushering in peace and stability. As the Sengoku period raged on, a longing for peace and stability grew stronger. The constant warfare had devastated the land and taken a heavy toll on its people. From the chaos, ambitious leaders like Oda Nobunaga emerged, dreaming of uniting Japan. Nobunaga, a brilliant daimyo, expanded his power using new technologies. He equipped his armies with muskets, gaining a decisive advantage. Nobunaga was a visionary leader who sought to break the mold of feudal Japan. However, his ambition ultimately proved to be his downfall. In 1582, he was betrayed by Akechi Mitsuhide and forced to commit seppuku. His death left a power vacuum, quickly filled by Toyotomi Hideyoshi. Hideyoshi, a brilliant strategist, unified Japan by 1590. Despite his success, Hideyoshi's death in 1598 left Japan on the brink of war. The IGA clan were not your typical samurai. While they were skilled swordsmen and strategists, their true strength lay in their mastery of unconventional warfare. They were the ninjas of legend, shrouded in secrecy and feared for their ability to appear and disappear at will, striking from the shadows with deadly precision. The IGA hailed from the mountainous IGA province, a region known for its dense forests and treacherous terrain. This isolated and unforgiving landscape shaped their unique fighting style and their reliance on stealth and cunning. They were masters of disguise, blending seamlessly into their surroundings, whether it be the bustling streets of a city or the darkest depths of a forest. The eagle's arsenal was as diverse as their tactics. While they were proficient with the katana and other traditional weapons, they also employed a wide array of specialized tools, including shuriken, kusarigama, and blowguns tipped with deadly poisons. They were masters of explosives and incendiaries, capable of demolishing fortifications or creating diversions with terrifying effectiveness. Their training was grueling and often brutal, designed to push their physical and mental limits to the breaking point. They learned to endure pain, suppress their emotions, and blend into any environment. Loyalty to their clan and their missions was paramount, and they were willing to sacrifice their lives without hesitation to achieve their objectives. The Ieyasu's reputation as formidable warriors and masters of espionage spread throughout Japan. Their services were highly sought after by Daimyo seeking an edge in the chaotic landscape of the Sengoku period. It was this reputation that reached the ears of Hattori Yasunaga, who saw in the IGA the perfect mentors for his gifted son. Under the tutelage of the IGA masters, Hattori Hanzo's transformation began. He left his father's castle and ventured into the mountains, entering a world of secrecy and rigorous training. The IGA pushed him to his limits, molding him into a weapon of unparalleled skill and cunning. Hanzo trained in swordsmanship, unarmed combat, and the Ieyasu's unique arsenal. He sparred with seasoned ninjas, testing his reflexes and anticipation. His training extended beyond physical combat. He learned stealth, moving silently through forests, blending into shadows. He mastered disguise, transforming into various personas to move unnoticed. The IGA taught him to craft and deploy explosives with precision. He learned to concoct potent poisons, turning scratches into fatal wounds. Observation was key, reading subtle cues to anticipate enemies' moves. Training forged a mindset, not just skills. Hanzo embraced the shadows, thinking like a predator stalking prey. The IGA instilled in him loyalty, discipline, and an unflinching willingness to complete missions. As Hanzo matured, his skills surpassed expectations. He moved with the grace of a phantom, striking like a viper. His swordsmanship was flawless, swift, and deadly. His father, Hattori Yasunaga, watched with pride. Yasunaga recognized Hanzo's value in turbulent times. At 16, Hanzo returned, transformed, no longer a boy, but a seasoned warrior. His presence radiated confidence and capability. Yasunaga presented Hanzo to Matsudaira Hirotada. Hirotada welcomed Hanzo, assigning him to protect his heir. This meeting forged a bond of loyalty and friendship, their destinies intertwined, forever linked in history. Hattori Hanzo's service to the Matsudaira clan began quietly. His exceptional skills initially kept hidden. He served as a bodyguard to the young Matsudaira Motoyasu, his watchful gaze ever present. Motoyasu, though still a boy, possessed a keen mind and natural charisma. He observed Hanzo closely, fascinated by the quiet warrior's unwavering focus. A bond began to form between the young lord and his enigmatic protector. However, fate had other plans. In 1560, tragedy struck the Matsudaira clan. Matsudaira Hirotada, Motoyasu's father, died unexpectedly. Motoyasu, still a young teenager, was deemed too inexperienced to rule. The Matsudaira clan found themselves caught in a web of shifting alliances and betrayals. The powerful Imagawa clan, led by Imagawa Yoshimoto, saw an opportunity to expand their influence. They took Motoyasu hostage, holding him captive in Sumpu Castle. The Matsudaira clan was in turmoil, their young lord a prisoner in enemy hands. It was a time for desperate measures, a time for Hattori Hanzo to step out of the shadows. His loyalty to Motoyasu would be put to the ultimate test. His skills as a warrior and master of espionage would be the only hope for rescuing Motoyasu. With Matsudaira Motoyasu, the future Tokugawa Ieyasu, held captive by the Imagawa clan, Hattori Hanzo's loyalty was put to the ultimate test. The young samurai knew that the fate of the Matsudaira clan, and indeed his own future, rested on his ability to free his lord from the clutches of their enemies. It was a task fraught with danger, requiring all his cunning, skill, and courage. Hanzo, disguised as a simple traveler, infiltrated Sumpu Castle, the Imagawa stronghold where Motoyasu was being held. He moved with the stealth of a shadow, his senses alert for any sign of danger, his mind racing to assess the situation and formulate a plan. The castle was heavily guarded, its walls patrolled by vigilant samurai loyal to the Imagawa clan. A direct assault was out of the question. Hanzo would have to rely on his wits and his mastery of stealth. Days turned into nights as Hanzo meticulously studied the castle's layout, observing the guards' routines, identifying weaknesses in their defenses. He knew that timing was everything. One misstep, one moment of carelessness, could spell disaster for both him and Motoyasu. He had to be patient, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. Finally, Hanzo devised a daring plan. Exploiting a gap in the castle's defenses, he would create a diversion, drawing the guards away from Motoyasu's quarters. Under the cover of chaos and confusion, he would spirit Motoyasu out of the castle and back to the safety of Matsudaira territory. It was a risky plan, one that relied heavily on Hanzo's ability to outwit and outmaneuver his enemies. The escape from Sumpu Castle marked a turning point in Hattori Hanzo's life. No longer a mere shadow in the service of the Matsudaira clan, he emerged as a trusted advisor and confidant to Matsudaira Motoyasu, who would soon adopt the name Tokugawa Ieyasu. Hanzo's strategic mind and unparalleled skills as a warrior and spy proved invaluable as Ieyasu navigated the treacherous political landscape of the Sengoku period, consolidating his power and expanding his influence. In 1570, Ieyasu, now a powerful daimyo in his own right, faced one of his greatest challenges, the combined might of the Takeda and Imagawa clans. The Takeda clan, led by the brilliant and ruthless Takeda Shingen, posed a formidable threat, their armies renowned for their ferocity and tactical prowess. The Battle of Mikatagahara, fought in the shadow of Mount Fuji, would be a defining moment in Ieyasu's rise to power. Hanzo, ever the strategist, advised Ieyasu to avoid a direct confrontation with the Takeda forces. He understood that the Takeda cavalry, renowned for their speed and maneuverability, held a significant advantage on the open battlefield. Instead, he proposed a strategy of harassment and attrition, utilizing the terrain to their advantage and striking at the Takeda supply lines and communications. Despite Hanzo's warnings, Ieyasu, eager to prove himself against the legendary Takeda Shingen, decided to engage the enemy head-on. The battle that ensued was a disaster for the Tokugawa forces. The Takeda cavalry, spearheaded by Shingen's son Takeda Katsuyori, smashed through the Tokugawa lines, scattering their troops and pushing them to the brink of defeat. The Battle of Mikatagahara was a crushing defeat for Tokugawa Ieyasu, but it was also a testament to Hattori Hanzo's unwavering loyalty and resourcefulness. Hanzo rallied his warriors, urging Ieyasu to flee. Under Hanzo's guidance, they escaped through enemy lines. Ieyasu vowed to create a unified Japan free from bloodshed. Hanzo pledged his unwavering loyalty. Their bond would shape Japan's destiny. The Battle of Mikatagahara, a bitter defeat for Tokugawa Ieyasu, marked a turning point with Hattori Hanzo. Ieyasu relied on Hanzo's strategic brilliance and loyalty. Hanzo dedicated himself to Ieyasu's vision of a unified Japan. He played a pivotal role in Ieyasu's rise to power. Hanzo's network provided invaluable intelligence. He orchestrated daring raids, sowing chaos among enemies. Hanzo's reputation as a strategist and warrior spread. He was also a shrewd diplomat, forging key alliances. Hanzo secured the Tokugawa-Oda alliance. He united factions, winning hearts and minds. Hanzo's diplomacy overcame mistrust between Ieyasu and Nobunaga. Their alliance was decisive in Japan's unification. With Hanzo's guidance, Ieyasu expanded his power. The dream of a unified Japan grew closer. The road was long and arduous, but their resolve was unwavering. Ieyasu and Hanzo faced challenges with determination. Their bond was unbreakable, their resolve unwavering. Adaptability and innovation, the mark of a true warrior. The Sengoku period demanded adaptability and innovation for survival. Hattori Hanzo embraced new technologies and tactics. He encouraged the use of firearms, giving his troops an edge. Hanzo's adaptability extended beyond weaponry. He studied European methods and technologies. Hanzo's legacy rests on his ability to adapt and innovate. He was a true warrior, always ready for change. The Siege of Odawara in 1590 marked a pivotal moment in the unification of Japan, and Hattori Hanzo played a crucial role in securing Tokugawa Ieyasu's victory. The Hojo clan, once a formidable force in the Kanto region, had become a final obstacle to Ieyasu's ambition of uniting the nation under his rule. Their stronghold, Odawara Castle, perched atop a strategically vital hilltop, was considered virtually impregnable. Ieyasu, having forged alliances with powerful daimyo across Japan, amassed a massive army. But he knew that a conventional siege could drag on for months, if not years. The Hojo clan was notoriously resilient, and their castle's defenses were formidable. He turned to Hattori Hanzo, his trusted advisor and master of unconventional warfare, to find a way to break the stalemate. Hanzo, ever the strategist, devised a plan that combined military might with psychological warfare. He understood that the Hojo clan's strength lay not only in their fortifications, but also in their reputation for invincibility. He needed to break their spirit, to make them doubt their ability to withstand the siege. He orchestrated a series of daring raids on the castle's outer defenses, his IGA ninjas infiltrating under cover of darkness, disrupting supply lines, sowing chaos and spreading rumors of impending doom. He even managed to plant a banner bearing the Tokugawa crest on a prominent tower within the castle walls, a symbolic victory that struck fear into the hearts of the defenders and bolstered the morale of the besieging army. The Vanishing Shadow. Hattori Hanzo's later years are shrouded in mystery. Some say he retired to a monastery, others claim he continued serving the Tokugawa shogunate in secret. The exact date and circumstances of his death remain uncertain, but his impact on Japanese history is undeniable. Hanzo's legacy continues to resonate, a testament to loyalty, skill, and the pursuit of a goal. If you enjoyed this journey through Hanzo's legacy and the unification of Japan, support our channel and help us forge even more legends. Visit our official store at www.bladesoflegendsofficial.com, where marketing meets the edge of the blade. Every click helps fuel the next chapter. Thank you for being part of the legend. Until the next battle.